Moja kwa moja tunaelekea makao makuu ya wizara ya mambo ya nje ambapo katibu mkuu wa wizara hiyo Balozi Macharia Kamau anazungumza na waandishi wa habari kuhusu uvumi ama tetesi zilizoenea kuhusu Wakenya wanavyodhulumiwa katika nchi ya Uchina.
10th of April. She was taken suddenly ill. She had some underlying conditions, high blood pressure, difficulty in breathing, and she was rushed to hospital, but sadly she passed on. We're waiting for the autopsy to be able to determine the cause of death. She has left a daughter of 25 years old and another who is 6 years old. Our embassy, our consul in LA, working under the guidance of Ambassador Jerry Carago, has been reaching out to them to ensure that they get the right consular counseling services, to ensure they get the support, to ensure that they get the comfort that they need to be able to deal with this devastating loss of their mother. It's very sad because they had also lost their father not too long ago. So they have now been orphaned. What is tragic, of course, is that we are not able to bring them home under the circumstances that prevail right now. But we shall continue to ensure that they are kept in the best possible condition at home in Los Angeles. I'm happy to take any questions now. That was just the highlights of some of the issues that are concerning us and that we wanted to share with you. Thank you very much. Maybe you can just say who.
You state your name and the media house you work with. Let's take your question first.
Good afternoon. My name is Leila Mohammed from nchini. In your speech, there was a concern that you're calling out on Kenyans in the Chinese, and particularly follow Chinese regulation. Was that a concern with the Chinese authorities when they were making the decision to remove them from where they live? Was that a concern that they were breaking some of the protocols that had been given by the Chinese?
Exactly. You see, I think you know the situation of some of our citizens who are in China. When people go abroad, not just in China, in other countries as well, I am from the diaspora, so I know, we sometimes you share housing. Sometimes you are forced by the circumstances of your condition to live, many of you, in one flat. We know for a fact two things. First, that part of the challenge that the authorities faced is that they did not want to have many people living together in one flat. So you're right about that. And so they were put in a situation where their instructions which were interpreted as eviction, which were really about social distancing, because they wanted people to live individually and or the right number of people in each flat. So you don't have too much crowding, because you cannot deal with social distancing and you can't deal with the spread of COVID-19 when there's too many people living in one space. They have different regulations, of course, in different countries. So I think some of the landlords felt compelled to respond in the way in which they did, which was unfortunate. Sadly, this took a turn and it became also a racial thing. This was unfortunate. But I think all the assurances that we have now received from the Chinese government tell us that this is not something they want to continue to tolerate, and that they're working very closely with the regional, it's like county governments. They're working very closely with the regional governments to ensure that they adhere properly to the regulations that are in place.
Concerned with that, are we looking at in terms of once COVID-19 has been dealt with, those who wish to come back to the country, will we be giving them a priority to come home? And on the India issue, those who are stuck there, how long are we looking at in terms of them coming home?
It's a good question. Look, once the COVID-19 crisis is over and the lockdown is lifted, people will travel. Once planes are available, you won't need to tell anybody to travel. People just pack their bags, and those who want to come home will come home. But not everybody always wants to come home. For example, those who are in Wuhan, many of them have chosen to stay, even though the lockdown has been lifted. You see? Because they realize that the opportunity there is also a good opportunity, and they want to stay. In the case of India, it's the same thing. Once the lockdown is lifted, I think we expect that all of them, especially those who went there as tourists or for medical purposes, will come home almost immediately. That is the expectation.